Hello and welcome to Visibility with Video, where every week we uncover the secrets of the universe when it comes to video marketing. So each week we dive into different topics around how to market your business using video to gain more visibility for your business, and we just bring the latest tips and tricks and things that we're finding to help you out in that area. So today I'm going to be your host. I'm Josh Wadier, YouTube marketing expert with Momentum Virtual, and I'm joined by Jenny Wadier and Marie Wadier. And today we are going to be talking about a really interesting topic, one that I am particularly passionate about. And that is big YouTube marketing trends that we're seeing that have already been starting this year and that we're predicting are going to keep kind of growing throughout the upcoming year. So this is something that I'm really pumped for. You guys ready?
We're ready.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Let's
I'm
do
excited.
it.
All right. So the first thing, and this is one that if you've been doing anything with YouTube or really any social media platform at all, it should not come as a surprise, but there is a huge demand for vertical short form video. So these are like every platform has their own name for it. I mean, TikTok is just TikTok. And then like you have reels, you have shorts on YouTube. And basically all it is content that is under a minute long and in a vertical format. And this type of content has been taking off incredibly recently. It's just becoming really popular with people and with content creators. Content creators love creating this type of content as well. So one interesting statistic that I found about this is that Adobe reported that short form videos that accounts for 80% of all mobile data traffic. So keep this in mind. This isn't just videos that are watched on mobile devices. This is all internet usage in general that is used on mobile devices.
Everything.
80% of it is vertical short form content. So what do you guys think of that?
Insane.
And kind of
oh my God, that's insane.
Wow,
Yeah.
how far we have come and where we're going. That's exciting, actually.
Yeah, and another statistic says that YouTube Shorts specifically, they have 1.5 billion monthly active users, and they see more than 30 billion daily views. So in one day, people are watching 30 billion shorts.
I wonder what people are doing with their free time.
Yeah. So this is becoming a really popular way of creating content for multiple reasons. And it really comes down to both being beneficial for the viewer and for the creator. So on the viewer side, there is very little commitment to watching a 30-second video as compared to watching a 5, 10, or even 30-minute video. If you are thinking of watching a longer video like that, usually when viewers see that type of video and they see, okay, this is a 10-minute video, the first thing that's going to come through their head is this going to be worth 10 minutes of my time? Am I going to actually enjoy this enough that I'm willing to spend 10 minutes on this? And of course, most people don't actively think that, but that's what's going on psychologically. They're thinking, okay, this is a long video. This is a lot of time. Is this worth that time? But when it comes to short form content that is 30 seconds long, it's very easy to convince someone to watch a 30-second video because it's just 30 seconds. So even if they're unsure about it, it's only 30 seconds of their time.
But it's not really.
Yeah. And so because of that, it's really easy to get someone to commit to it and say, okay, I'll watch that video. I'll do that. And then they'll watch that video and then they'll say, oh, here's a 15-second video. Okay, I'll watch that one. Oh, here's a 20-second video. Okay, I'll watch that one. Then they'll end up watching the same amount of time or even more that they would have watched, like watching longer videos. But it's easier for them to commit to it because it's in very tiny chunks, which makes them feel like they're not actually wasting their time.
Yeah, I think that's a big psychological thing, and a lot of the ways we react in life. When something's presented to you, if it's something that's if you have things on your to-do list, and when you think of one of the things and you're like, oh, that's gonna take a while, you immediately shove that out of your brain. You don't think, oh, okay, let me start tackling it now. You think, no, I need to plan a time, have everything off my schedule, clear things up, and then I can start working on that. But if it's something you can just do real fast, we end up focusing on all the little things. So not thinking that the little things lead to really big things. So yeah, I completely can see how that's happening.
Yeah, and I definitely am one of those person. My watch later playlist gets so filled up because you literally on YouTube, if you see a video you want to watch but you don't want to watch now, you can click 2 buttons and add it to a playlist called Watch Later. My Watch Later playlist probably has like 200 videos in it because I'll add something there, add something there, add something there, and never go back and watch it. But with shorts, when I see a short that's interesting, I'm like, oh yeah, and click on it immediately. Because again, it's that, oh, this isn't a 20-minute video. This is 30 seconds. Yeah, I can click here.
Instant distraction and instant gratification. That's what it is. That's why it's so addictive.
Yeah. So that means that it's easier for viewers to click on it, which of course means that they perform a lot better. And especially with YouTube Shorts, there have been a lot of changes in the algorithms recently that have made shorts just incredibly popular. I mean, we've been making shorts for a long time now, and for the early part of that, our shorts were getting about the same amount of views as our other content, or maybe a little bit more. But within the past 3 months, our shorts are getting 4 to 5 times what our normal videos get when it comes to views, because on YouTube specifically, that's just taking off. But then I also want to talk about, from the creator side, why shorts is such a good option. And that's because shorts are so easy to make. When you think about making it, the types of videos that we make for our YouTube channel are usually within the 3 to 7 minute range, depending on what thing we're talking about. They're informational content, so of course we have to create all the information, we have to script it out, record the whole thing, edit the whole thing, all of that, and that takes a lot of time. But it takes a lot less time to make a 15-second video on one specific point. And then that video gets 3 times the results of the regular video. So I'm not saying that you should give up doing longer form videos, because those are still really great for building your channel consistently. But it's a really easy thing to just add on doing a couple shorts. And you can even, if you want to really make it easy, you can even just pull some points out of your main content that you do and turn those into shorts. That's something we've started doing recently. So we create our regular 5-minute long informational video, and then we'll take a couple points out of that are 15 to 20 seconds long and upload that as a short. That way, if someone wants to listen to the whole video and get the whole in-depth thing, they can do that. Or if they just have a little bit of time that they want to invest learning this one specific thing, then they can do that as well. So overall, it's just really easy to create that type of content. And that's why a whole lot of creators are really starting to embrace this in 2023. And you should probably consider doing it yourself. Because like I said, it's easy to do. It gets a lot of engagement. And overall, especially on YouTube, they're just performing a lot better than regular long form videos are. All right. So the second big trend that we're seeing with YouTube is something that's been kind of on and off a little bit for a while, but as this has continued to get better, it's becoming much more prevalent. And that is embracing AI when it comes to video creation and managing your marketing and all of that. So AI, of course, has been around for a while, and AI tools for this kind of stuff have been around for a while. But the problem has always been that AI really isn't perfect. Usually it can get you started on something, but then you have to do a lot of tweaking with it. And so for a long time, it had kind of been that AI could be a good way to get you started, but it's not really saving you that much time, because then you have to do all the editing for it. But as time has gone on, AI has gotten better and better and better, to the point where there are a lot of AI tools out there that can save you a ton of time in the creative process with very little editing, just because the AI has gotten that good at creating the types of content. So a couple of examples of different AI tools that you can use with your video marketing is there are AI tools that will help you create optimized titles and descriptions for your videos. AI tools that'll help you create thumbnails. There are script writing AIs. There are even now, this is an interesting one that I've been watching on and off for a while, but it has actually gotten decently good. There are video editing AIs, which again aren't perfect, but they're really good at getting you started on a lot of things. And then, of course, there's AI voiceovers. If you want to have a video where you don't want to actually do a voiceover for it, you can get an AI to do that as well. But the point is that it's getting to the point where basically, if you can think of any part of your marketing process that you want to make easier, there's probably an AI program out there that will help you with that. And again, you are going to still have to review them. AI isn't perfect. AI isn't going to get things exactly in the wording that you want. It's trained by a whole bunch of different data from a whole bunch of different people. So for things that are very personalized to you, like your types of thumbnails or your scripts and things like that, you're going to have to do some tweaking to get it to fit your personal style. But it's still a really great way to take a lot of the setup process of that out of the way and just get you straight to a finished product.
Yeah, I think it's great because, we're all about making marketing easy. We know that the reason why people are not consistent with marketing is because it's not easy. There's some barrier they hit. And that's why we love coming in and like saying, let's just look at this and find where is that barrier? Where's that stopping point for you? And how can we give you something, show you something, teach you something that's just going to remove that completely, blow it out of the water. So I think this is just one of those tools that you can remove the overwhelm of the script writing for sure. And like Josh said, though, you still need to make sure your personality is shining through really well in your scripts. And even if it's just in outlines, but it can take a lot of that writer's block away from you. And give you more ideas than you can imagine. You can literally just type in a question, a thought, and just watch what you get out of it. Coming up with some really catchy titles and things like that. Yeah. I mean, things like that can really stop you maybe from producing your next work. It's done. So yeah. I can't, and this is happening so fast, y'all, that we can revisit this a year from now and be minds blown at where we're going to be then with this. So just hang on for the ride.
Yeah, I mean, like an example from us of something that just happened recently. We have over the time of our business experimented some with AI script writing because honestly, like just being real, script writing is one of the things that none of us likes to do.
None of us are writers. We just aren't.
So we love delivering the information. We love recording on video. We're good with all of that. But the actual script writing is something that's hard and takes a long time for us. So we've over the past used some AI script writers and gotten kind of mixed results for them. But we recently just tried a new one and I was amazed by I was literally able to just type in the prompt, write a video script about the best way to do whatever, or the 5 best tips for video marketing, something like that. And it went through and actually found very relevant points. It wrote them out in a good way. It formatted it like a video script because I asked it to write it like a video script. And again, it wasn't perfect. It needed some fluffing. We needed to change a little bit of the wording. But it even told you where
to insert B-roll, didn't it? It even said
it told you editing notes on there. Like it was insane the level of detail that this AI was able to go through. And so now we've been experimenting with it. And actually the next 2 videos that come out on our YouTube channel, the scripts for those were generated by this AI, and then we tweaked them to match our style a little bit better and make sure that it's like fluffed out to be a full YouTube video. But it was a really great way to get started and get most of the script written. So yeah, if you haven't considered doing some AI, using some AI programs to help you in this kind of stuff, you really should give it a try because it really is good at helping to speed up the process of just getting started with things so that you can get to the end result a lot quicker.
And if you want some more, want to know some more specifics around any of these things that we've played around with, just reach out to us. We'll be glad to give you some input.
Yep. All right. So the third biggest, well, not the third biggest, but the third of the biggest trends that we're seeing a lot is doing video podcasting. on
Yes.
YouTube.
I love this one.
So this is something that like, you know how there are all of these different podcast platforms out there that are competing to be the most popular podcast platform. I believe right now it's still Apple Podcast. Spotify is getting up there, really trying to compete with them. And there's a whole bunch of
Spotify
other
and
ones.
Apple neck and neck right now.
Yeah. So there's a whole bunch of other ones that are all trying to become the most popular podcasting platform. And so when I heard this news, it really surprised me. YouTube was named the world's most popular podcast platform.
Yes.
And the reason
I'm
why,
excited.
yeah, the reason why is because so many people are starting to create video podcasts. And it's because it's so easy to do. Basically, all you do is you're already recording a podcast. You have all of the content there. So instead of just recording it audio, just add a camera, add some lights. Now you have a video podcast. And now you can upload the audio version to all your regular platforms you've been doing. But you can also upload the video version to a platform like YouTube. And then people can get it on both places. If they just want the audio, they can get it on the audio podcast services. If they also want the video, if they want to actually see you, then they can watch it on YouTube. And because of that, so many people who have just been creating audio podcasts are switching to creating video podcasts. And that's why YouTube was named the most popular podcast platform, because it's taking podcasts from all of the other podcasting platforms, and they're also being posted onto YouTube.
And maybe we should let Jenny just jump in here, because I know she gets all excited about this stuff. I do too. But about why a video podcast is even a good idea. Why would you do that? So, it's either, when I've asked people about this before, when they think of the word podcast, what do they think? Audio or video? And they're all like, well, audio. Why would you do video? Very few people. And the polls that I done were just like, of course, video. So why is a video podcast a good idea? Judy?
Yeah. And I did get disconnect for just a second, so forgive me if I go back over a point that Josh already said. But yes, I love podcasting. I love video podcasts in particular, because if you're already going to podcast, why not do video? It gets you in front of a whole new audience of people, because again, YouTube is huge for podcasting right now. They comparatively only just recently started really digging into podcasts, but now they have like a whole podcasting tab. When you're going to look for content, you can search specifically for podcasts. And a lot of people love doing just exactly what we're doing, live podcasts, where they literally just go live and talk about things. And where do you put live podcasts? You put them on YouTube. YouTube is one of the most popular video hosting sites, if not the most popular video hosting site. So it kind of just makes sense. Plus, like I said, you're getting in front of a whole new audience. YouTube is so huge. So you're gonna find your people there, 100% going to find your people there, because they are there with how big the audience is. So there's really no reason not to.
Plus, you're now putting your podcast in a search engine so that people can search for everything that you're talking about on your podcast. To me, that's exciting. Longer form content where you're sharing, more about what you do, and people come and are searching for answers, and YouTube's going to connect the pieces, to what you're talking about on your podcast. There's just no reason not to be, including your content and such a huge search engine where your people are. Your people are on YouTube. So I think it's just such a great opportunity.
Yeah. So basically, if you already have an audio podcast, you should really consider creating a video podcast. It just gets it in front of a much larger audience with almost no extra work added to it. And if you don't have a podcast, you should consider creating one on YouTube. I mean, literally what we're doing here as a live stream podcast is super simple to do. We just there is some tech things you have to set up, but one of us comes up with a topic, and then researches that, which that was me this time. Then I'm telling you what I found. Everyone else is commenting on it, and hey, we have a podcast. So it's really that hard to set up, and it reaches a completely different audience than the shorter form content that you have on your channel will. So it's just another way to kind of create more content in a way that's not really that hard to do. That'll just get you a lot more traction and results on YouTube.
Really let
Plus,
your
podcasts are really
personality-
big right now.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Plus, podcasts are really, really big right now. So if you were looking to start a podcast, now is the time to do it.
Yeah. And I'm just saying it's fun. A show like this is fun because you can see our personalities. You can see what we laugh at, what we like, the way we interact. And I don't know that you would get that from an audio as well. I mean, you definitely get some of that, but I think you get so much more. You just start to know people better when you can see them on video. So,
yeah. All right. So let's move on to the fourth big YouTube trend that we're seeing, which is one that might sound weird, but it is the return to search engine optimization, or SEO.
yeah.
Now, it's weird to say the return to it because for some people, they're going to be like, when did we ever leave SEO? I thought SEO was like the big thing with YouTube. And it kind of is and kind of isn't. And basically, like, since YouTube is a search engine, optimizing something like search engine optimization just means that you're using the right keywords in your like title, description, and tags of your videos to make sure that YouTube knows who to share this video to, and make sure that when people search for something on YouTube, your video will show up in the right search results. So this is something that, yeah, like it's a very core feature of having a successful YouTube channel. But at the same time, it's not required to have a successful YouTube channel, because another part of the YouTube algorithm, which is even more powerful than SEO, is the recommendation algorithm. And this is where YouTube will look at what your content is about and will start recommending it to people before they even go to search for it. And the majority of people who come to YouTube end up watching videos recommended to them by YouTube without actually searching for something. Because of this, a lot of people had switched to mostly focusing on the recommendation side of it. And there's a lot of great reasons why that is the thing. And that's something that we did a lot with ours. We realized early in our channel that our SEO was on point, but our videos weren't getting recommended by YouTube. And because of that, they weren't getting the results that we wanted. So we switched to very heavily focusing on getting YouTube to recommend our content. And that's what a lot of people have been doing recently, like in the past year, have been switching to focusing very heavily on the recommendation side of YouTube, getting YouTube to show their videos to other things. But because of that, a lot of creators have also kind of neglected the SEO side of things. And that's why there's a big shift now to come back to the idea of you really need both of them. The recommendation is good and it will get you very far, but you're still missing out on a whole bunch of people who are searching for your content. So if you can get your videos set up in a way where you both get them recommended by YouTube and get them found in the search engine, then you're just going to get the best of both worlds. All right, so number 5 is another one that is becoming very prevalent just across the world in general, but it's starting to show up on YouTube a lot. And that is to be vocal about your values, to let people know what things you stand for and what things you support. And the reason why this is a really important thing is that for a lot of people, when they are like, when they're watching content, or even it comes down to stores, when they're buying things from stores, they want to know, okay, what does this company support? Does it support things that I'm interested in, or does it support things that I'm not interested in? Are the causes that it's working for things that I'm aligned with? And it doesn't even have to be like, oh, you're donating money to this charitable cause, but it also just comes down to, why is your YouTube channel here? What's the purpose of it? Is the purpose of your YouTube channel just because, oh, well, I want to make some money? Because if that's all that your channel is about, I mean, it's not like terrible. I'm not going to say you can't do that, but your viewers will start to see that, oh yeah, I mean, he creates some good content, but he's really just here to make money from us. And a lot of people don't like that. But if you have very clear goals about what your channel is about, like my channel is here because I want to help these people do this. I know how to get these people past these problems. So I want to help people like that. If you're very vocal about the things like that, the things that you support and the things that are your values for your business or your YouTube channel, then people who have similar values to that start to rally around that and start to become a lot more connected to you.
Yeah, Josh, I mean, we talk all about visibility. And when you're talking about a visibility strategy, values-based marketing, it's got to be at the core of that. You're showing who you are. I mean, that's the reason we love video so much, is that it shows so much of who we are, so shows so much of our personality. But you can't hide who you are when it comes to your values. And you really need to align all of your marketing around those values, and not be scared of them. And I hate to say it, but a lot of people shrink back and think, oh, this is business. I need to be business, And then in my free time, I'm all over here, but then this is business. And while you do need to be professional in the content that you create, your personality has to shine through, and your values, your why, your story, your history, your mistakes, your struggles, your successes, and your passion for why in the world are you taking time to make videos and stick them on YouTube has to shine through. And you can't be scared of it. In fact, I think the bolder you are with your message and your why, the more you're going to attract your people. It's just it. So,
yeah. So don't be afraid of sharing the things that you stand for, the things that you support. Because another thing that we see a lot with content creators or business owners who are starting to do this is marketing, is there's some things that you believe in or that you support that you're like, well, I'm not going to talk about that, because then there are people who don't support that. And of course, they're not going to like that. And it's just going to push them away. And what I always say is, good, push them away. Because if the thing is, if you have to try and fake what you believe on camera, you are going to attract a fake audience that believes in the fake things that you are saying you actually believe in. And eventually they're going to realize, okay, this person actually doesn't believe in these things. But if you are just very real about what things you support, what things you believe in, then what's going to happen is, yes, there are going to be people who oppose you and say, okay, this is not the channel for me. This is not who I want to watch. And that's fine, because there are also going to be a lot of other people who see your passion in that and say, oh, I like that too. I believe in that too. And they immediately connect with you, and they immediately start to support you because you now have that similar connection. They can see, yeah, we're the same in this area. We both believe these things. We both go for these things. Yeah, you're my people. I feel at home here. So don't be afraid about sharing your values. And then the next and the last trend that we're going to cover tonight, and this goes in really well with that, is to not overproduce your content. So this has been a kind of funny cycle to watch on YouTube, because when YouTube first started, it was like there was very little production value in anything.
It was very raw.
Yeah, just so someone grabs a phone, records a video, posts it there. People doing crazy things,
wasn't it
funny
just like,
things.
Hey, I'm standing in front of an elephant. Yeah, that was it. The
Yeah.
first video.
Yeah, it was just
Yeah, so it started out very not well produced, and then like once it became obvious that, oh, you can make money here, then people will start to be like, okay, well, how do you work the algorithm with your content to try and make sure that you're keeping people for as long as possible? And so they started like upping the production value on their content, and then people started to expect that level of production value. And so then people were like, oh, well, let's take it to the next level. Let's make it better. Let's make it more professional, more polished, more perfect. And that cycle kept going and going and going until now we're kind of in an area where a lot of people believe that to have really successful YouTube videos, you have to have zero mistakes in the video. The video has to be super fast paced. You can't stop for a second. You can't have anything that's distracting. And while that is somewhat true for regular YouTube videos, yeah, especially if they're like informational style, you do need to make sure that you have a cohesive train of thought through the whole thing. You need to make sure there aren't things that are super distracting that will throw people off, just to keep people interested going through. But since there is so much overproduced content like that, people are starting to crave more real, raw content. And so they're starting to not want that super perfect polished content. And instead, they want to see people being real people. And the big thing about this is that real people make mistakes. And like as a video editor, I know that when I'm editing videos, it's very easy for me to go through and take out every single possible mistake and make me sound like I'm perfect, like I don't need to breathe at all, because I can cut out every breath. So it's just constant words, constant content all the way through. But if that's the way that it is, people find it hard to relate to that, because that's not how people are. People make mistakes. People do take breaths in the middle of the things. People say and a couple times as they're talking. And so there's kind of that balance that you have to strike there, where you still want your content to be distraction free. So when I'm editing something, I'll go through, and if there's just an occasional like talking, I'll leave that in, because that's just real. But if someone has to stop and is like, let me think about that. Oh, that's what I wanted to say. Okay, then of course I'm going to cut that out, because that's distracting. That takes people completely out of the flow of everything. So we're not saying don't produce your content, don't make it look nice, but don't overproduce your content at the same time. Make sure that you're still being real and showing your personality through your content, because when people see you being real, that's what makes them want to connect with you, and that's what makes them relate with you a lot more.
Yeah, I definitely agree
that's
with
kind of why podcasts are getting so big recently, because there's a lot of, I mean, there are a lot of podcasts that are heavily produced and this and that, but a lot of podcasts are just people talking about stuff that they like, and or like stuff that they know about, and it's not super heavily edited, and it's just them. So I feel like that's why that's getting so big recently, is because people are craving that type of content.
Yeah, I do think that there's a resurgence of people. I do think we kind of hit a peak at the overproduced stuff. And then there's a big section of the world that went to never produce anything and just show up and dance. We have a million dance videos of every kind. And then it was like, let's go back now and let's start making more and more polished dance videos, and, you know, more choreographed, more practiced, more perfect. So we always keep spiraling back that way. But I think the important things when it does come to production value is going to be, don't have distracting backgrounds. You know, you can clean up things a little bit. Make sure your lighting's good. Don't be sitting in the dark. You know, some little things like that that make people feel welcome on your video, instead of feeling like out of place, like, oh no, where am I? You know, just think about that. You want to be you. You want to be relaxed. You want to be talking. You want to have fun, but you want to make them feel at home when they get there. So,
yeah. So yeah, it is just a balance of something to keep in mind, that you do want your content to be good. And like on YouTube, especially if you're creating an informational type of content, which is what a lot of businesses do for their marketing on YouTube, you do need to make sure that it's pretty fast paced. You do need to make sure that there's not a whole bunch of things that kind of distract people from the information, or people are going to click off. So there is that side of it where it's like, yeah, you do need to make sure it's being produced, but you also need to make sure that your personality is coming through. And it's also okay to have different types of content with different production levels. So for example, our YouTube videos are a lot more produced because they have to be. That's how that type of content works better. But then we also have content like this where there is zero production value, other than that I have some notes and we're here and we have our logo on screen. Like there's things like that. But as far as like, of course, there's no editing because it's live. We're just sitting here talking. And so it's fine for this type of content to have more mistakes because people come to it expecting it. It's a live video. Of course, people aren't going to say things perfectly. Of course, people are going to stumble on their words occasionally, that kind of stuff. So people expect that. And for our shorter form content, people expect it to be more highly produced. So just kind of figure out that balance when you're going through it, and kind of keep an eye on how your videos are performing and what people are saying about it. Because you really just want to make sure that even though you're editing your videos enough to keep people's attention, you need to not edit it so much that you lose your personality or it makes you seem like you're inhuman with how perfect you are in your video, because that's the type of thing that will start to lead people away. All right, so those were the 6 big trends that we are seeing happening right now in 2023, and we're expecting to continue throughout the rest of the year. So for me personally, I'm excited about basically all of these. There's so many good things in here, and a lot of them we're already kind of working on and experimenting with to see how we can implement into what we're doing for our business. And I'd love to hear about what things you're considering doing for your business, or what things you're already doing and how those results have been going. And of course, if you have any questions about any of these or about how you can start implementing these into your business, just let us know. You can post a comment and we'll make sure to get back to you on that, because we always want to help you guys to get the most results from your marketing with the least amount of effort and time put into it. That's kind of our goal here with this. So if you have any questions that would make it easier for you to implement these things, then just let us know and we're happy to help. All right. So thanks